In this short video, I want to have a look at how we can create variables in Python, but create them on objects. So put the variables up on objects. So here you go, I have a script written already. First thing to note, which has nothing to do with putting variables on objects, but the first thing to note is line 9. So typically up until this point, when I am importing a module, I'll just go to a previous code that I've written. So typically I would import a module like I have done here in line 6. I would say just import and then the name of the module. And what this does, it imports all of the functions, all of the variables, all of the classes that have been defined inside in this module so that I can use them in my code. Another way of importing things from a module is to do it like this. So rather than import and the name of the module, you say from the name of the module, import a specific thing. So I'm not importing everything from the module turtle. I am just importing the class turtle, spelled with a capital T, from the module turtle. Now, the only difference is that now when I want to create a turtle object, I can do it like this in line 12. Look, and I just type in the name of the class, open bracket, close bracket, and I put a variable equal to it. As opposed to in the previous way, when I wanted to create an object of type turtle, I had to precede it by the name of the module. So I had to go to the name of the module dot the name of the class. But when you import like this and say, listen, I only want the turtle class from the turtle module, then you don't have to precede the name of the class with the name of the module. You can just use the name of the class straight up. So here again, line 12 is just creating a turtle object. And I'm storing it in a variable called test. I'm then calling the speed function on the object, and I'm setting the speed of my turtle test to 1. I'm calling the color function on my object, and I'm setting the color to blue. I'm calling the shape function on my object, and I'm setting it to turtle. And then I'm calling the pen up function on my object. And again, all of these functions have been defined in the class turtle. And you might be asking yourself, how do I know that these functions are there? How do I know that the turtle class has these functions: speed, color, shape, pen up? And the reason is I've read the documentation. There's documentation on all of these modules, and I've read the documentation, and in there they tell you what functions and variables are on the various classes. So I'm calling the pen up function, and this essentially sort of lifts, it's like as if a turtle has a pen in its hand, and this lifts the pen up off the paper, so you can move the turtle around and it won't leave a trace. So I lift up the pen, I ask the turtle to lift up the pen by calling the pen up function, and then I tell the turtle to go to, I call the go to function, and I give it an X value and a Y value. So essentially it's going to the center of the screen here. And then I tell the turtle to put down the pen. So the pen is on the screen again, so to speak. Now I create another variable called distance, and I put it equal to 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my turtle to sort of start drawing an ever increasing square. I'll run the program just so you can see what it does. So I'll run the program. You see the turtle move to the center of the screen first, and then it started drawing a square, but the sides of the square grow each time I draw them. So it grows by 10 each time I draw a side of a square, and it keeps going for a bunch of times, and it will eventually stop. So I'm going to stop it. I'm not going to wait for it to stop, so I'll just stop it there. So again, I'm just going to run it one more time, and this time now when I run it, keep an eye out for the turtle moving to the center of the screen, and then it starts drawing. Here we go. There you go. You see it just moved off the center of the screen. The very center of the screen is 0, 0. So we went back 50 and up 50. So we just started just off the center of the screen, minus 50, 50. Okay. So this variable here is going to be the variable that I'm going to set the value to 10, and that's the amount I want the side of this square to grow by each time. And it's a constant. I don't expect it to change. I set it once and that's it. And good naming convention in Python is to use capital letters for your constants. Now you don't have to. So that's why I've actually spelt the name of this variable in all caps, but it's just a normal variable. But it's telling the user that this is a constant variable. Even though you can change the value, my intention is not to change its value. And then I have a for loop. So I say for every number in the range 1 to 40. So this loop here is going to go around 40 times for every number in the range 1 to 40. And what I do is I get my object test and I try to access a variable on my object test called forward distance. Now I've read the documentation and there is no variable on the class turtle called forward distance. But if you try to access a variable on an object that isn't there, Python will put a variable on the object for you. So this actually has the effect of me creating a variable called forward distance on the object test. And I put it equal to the distance multiplied by num. So num starts at 1, then it will be 2, then it will be 3, then it will be 4, then it will be 5. Forward distance will start at 10, then it'll be 20, then it'll be 30, then it'll be 40. And I print out the value of num, and I also print out the forward distance. And then I tell test to go forward by that amount. I say move forward by the forward distance. So again, in the first iteration of the loop, num will be 1. So it'll be 1 multiplied by 10. So we'll be going forward 10 and then we'll be turning 90 degrees. In the second iteration of the loop, num will be 2. So it will be 2 multiplied by 10, which will be 20. So if we go forward 20. In the third iteration of the loop, we go forward 30 and so on and so forth. And that's it. As I say, you can see the effects here. And it will go, it will just keep going around and around until it ends. It gets to the last number. For every number in the range 1 is to 40. And that's it.